Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a story time of a very scary experience. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. In October, don't remember the specific date, but me, my boyfriend, and his sister went to Halloween Haunt, which is a like Halloween themed makeover whatever that they do at the theme park Great America in Santa Clara. So we ended up going because we were season pass holders. So we went to Great America and we got there, and you know, we were going to, it's crazy like how these things happen, but we were gonna park on the street because it was like crazy long to get into the parking lot. So we were gonna park on the street, but we ended up not doing that because it would have been a super long walk. So we just waited, and then we parked in the parking lot, and then we went into the park, and we were walking, and we didn't ride any rides, we didn't get any food. We were trying to decide what mazes we wanted to do because they have different mazes, different themed mazes. So we were in line for the Zombie High maze, and we were probably like waiting there for a good 20-25 minutes, like already just waiting in line. And oh my god, it was so scary. We were kind of like in the back of the park, and it was weird because somebody said that there was a shooter in the park, and obviously you hear that, you freak out. There was like security, like 3 or 4 security guards, like just walking like super fast, like past us. And then some guy in line was like, oh, is there a shooter in the park? Because if there is, then we should go. And then the security guard was like, no, there's no shooter. Right after he said that, like seconds later, there was a huge crowd of people just running towards us, like, you know, trying to get to the exterior of the park, like trying to jump a fence or whatever, just leave the park so they wouldn't, you know, nothing would happen. So we see the crowd, and obviously I start to freak out, and I was like, what is happening? So we run away, like everybody got out of line, obviously. So me, Julio, and his sister were running, and we ran to like a fence, like that separated the park from the next building next door. So we were like in the bushes. Like I just wanted to sit there and like, you know, wait it out basically, but obviously that's not a good idea. I just didn't want to make any noise and get caught. And then we were like walking along the fence, and there was like a clearer area, like not many trees, and there were so many people already there. They were trying to climb the fence and trying to just jump over, that way they could escape the park basically. And it was really sad because a lot of people were like, oh, where's this person, where's that person, call them, like, oh, I lost my phone, like I don't know where it is. Like they couldn't reach the people that they were with, and they lost them in the mess. So we were waiting to basically climb the fence, and then on the other side of the fence was a construction site. So somebody managed to get a ladder that was on the other side and bring it over. So they brought it over the fence, and that made it easier for people to climb over, because a lot of people don't know how to climb fences. And it was probably I'd say an 8 or 9 foot tall fence. So obviously the jump is super high when you get over. So it was just like a mess to try to get onto the ladder to get over, and then just climb over the fence either way, if you were not using a ladder or if you were. But yeah, trying to get to the ladder, everybody was pushing and shoving, so it was kind of like you just had to go in and climb the fence and get over. And then I remember I was first, so I climbed the ladder, and jumping over, there was a guy that was like helping people get down, and yeah, he helped me get down, and then I was there waiting, and then Julio's sister came, and then I was waiting for Julio. I couldn't see him. I was freaking out because I was like, where did he go? And he ended up climbing over too, and after that we all held hands, and we were running through a construction site. There was no doors or anything. It was just like open, but it was like a building, but there wasn't any doors or anything, so you could just run right through. So we ran through, and we were so close to the street, but there was like those other fences that are temporary, but they're linked together with zip ties, so there was no way of us like breaking it or pushing it over because they were all connected. So there was like this heater box thing that was huge, and Julio, he threw me over, and then I jumped over, and then same with his sister. So we were both on the other side already, on the street side. And then Julio was helping other people get over because there was a bunch of little kids that couldn't jump over because the fence, you couldn't just climb it because they had that felt or that like cloth over it. So it was hard for you to jump over it. So he was helping people, and then him and a bunch of other guys were like kind of pulling the fence towards them. That way people could jump over easier. That way it wasn't that high. So after he did that, he jumped over, and then I was freaking out because I was like, oh my god. And there was like helicopters, and you could hear cop cars and firefighters, and it was like this whole big deal. And I was freaking out because I was like, oh my god, I've never been in this type of situation. Like, I don't know what to do, like what was happening. Like, the sad part was when we walked into the park, like before any of this happened, we saw a pregnant woman. We saw parents with kids in their strollers. Like, what are they supposed to do? They can't climb a fence. Like, it must have been terrifying for them, for everybody that was in there. And after that, we ended up after we exited like onto the street, we were walking, and a bunch of people were running, and they were like saying, run that way, like don't go in the park. And we walked like a good 4 blocks. And then we called an Uber, and good thing I have relatives that live out there, so I called them, and I asked if we could go over. So we got an Uber to their house, and we were just waiting there until everything calmed down. So when we were there, we ended up getting picked up and brought back to the park so we could get our car. When we got to our car, we saw that the car had a flat tire. So I was like, wow, okay, like out of all nights. So luckily there was a gas station nearby, and we just put air in the car real quick until we got home, and then we like got the tire issue fixed afterward. But just like being in that experience was so scary. Like, it was so traumatizing. Like, and to top it all off, luckily it wasn't a real shooter situation. It was just some rowdy kids who yelled shooter. Obviously when you yell that, that's gonna like cause a panic, and people are gonna run. Once people run, other people are gonna panic, and they're gonna run. So they caused this whole issue that it got like helicopters, cop cars, like everybody involved. It got onto the news, and it wasn't a real shooter situation. But just like thinking of when I thought there was a shooter, it was scary because you don't know what's happening. Like, you don't know if people have died already, if people have gotten shot, like if the shooter's going towards you. It was just super traumatizing, and ever since then we haven't gone back. I'm honestly terrified to go back because 2019 in July, I think, there was actually a shooter that was at Great America, like an actual shooter. And then this like scare happened, and it's, I don't know, like I'm just traumatized, and I don't really want to go back. But yeah, that was a super scary experience. It's just scary that that's basically the world we live in. No matter where you go, there could be a shooter. My local mall, there was a shootout, but that was like, I feel like that was between like gangs. But either way, like it was in public, people were shooting. I don't think anybody got hurt, but just like, it's so sad that that's a normal thing now, like just people shooting up places. But yeah, so that happened, and we haven't gone back, and I'm honestly scared to go back. So we'll see if we ever decide to. We were supposed to go for Winterfest like in December, but that didn't happen. But we'll see about next year. But that is my story time. I hope you guys found it somewhat interesting. I hope you never go through something like that, because it is honestly traumatizing. I think about it a lot, and it's kind of weird that I was in that situation, even though it wasn't an actual shooter, but it could have been a shooter, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a big thumbs up, comment your thoughts on the video. If you guys have any other video ideas, leave them in the comment section too, and subscribe if you guys haven't. I do appreciate every subscriber that I have, so thank you so much. If you're new, if you're one of the OGs, thank you for still being here. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.